In about 3 weeks, Project Motor Racing is set to be released on November 25, 2025 for PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. We also got to play the version at SimRacing Expo in October, but the state of the game, how the rigs were set up and the recording conditions were honestly pretty sobering, and you could tell that the Straight 4 Studios devs weren't at all happy with this version that they presented there, and that it certainly didn't represent the final product. That's why I waited a while before sharing my thoughts on Project Motor Racing, because I was now able to test a more recent version of the game for several hours on my own setup here at home. Without giving too much away, it was a massive step forward compared to the Expo version. In this video, we'll be discussing the physics, handling, technical aspects, AI, first impressions of the career mode as well. We'll also be clarifying whether Project Motor Racing has more to offer besides the best grass in sim racing trademark, and who can look forward to it. So welcome back to Overtake, I'm Michel and we're going to address the elephant in the room right away. So, how does Project Motor Racing actually drive? Is it a faithful simulation of real-life racing? How authentic are the cars? After all, we can drive over 70 cars from different eras on 18 circuits. Pretty much every conceivable driving concept is included. Let's start with the positive examples. The Audi 90 IMSA GTO is a 720 horsepower 5-cylinder turbocharged quattro beast, and that's exactly how it feels in Project Motor Racing. Although its basic character is geared towards understeer, it doesn't feel floaty. On the contrary, the chassis feels dynamic and very responsive. Lap after lap, you adjust your driving style to conceal the car's weaknesses and get the all-wheel drive to work in harmony with that fat turbo. It's highly rewarding to position the car so that you can take full advantage of the torque wave of the incoming boost when exiting a corner. The whole thing is based on really fine driving physics, driving dynamics. Everything feels very detailed. And there I can also mention the force feedback, which very credibly communicates the track surface and tire contact patch. There are constant small impacts from bumps and offsets, especially at Sebring. Even small rain gutters in the pit lane pull slightly on your steering wheel when touching them, and FFB impulses have also been incorporated when you hit the ABS or also come to the ref limiter. It all felt very convincing on my SimMagic Alpha Evo. I also think the curbs are implemented correctly. You can attack them very well in most cars. Only narrower and raised curbs and the transition to the grass verge can quickly unbalance the car. The external conditions and your own driving style definitely influence the tire model. This is particularly noticeable when you set a time-lapse race into the night. After sunset, it became even more difficult to tame the Lister Storm here at Zolder. I can assure you that this GT class is extremely challenging. The Lister was roughly comparable to the V8 supercar in iRacing in terms of handling when we drove the 23-hour event in Zolder last year, but even more untamable, to be honest. However, it doesn't feel artificially difficult. You can tell when you're doing something wrong. I was impressed by almost all of the historic cars I tested. The Mercedes-Benz CLK LM is a truly spectacular car to drive as well. You can watch full uncut clips of races featuring this car on this channel over the next couple of days, by the way. The 964 Cup has the typical rear engine characteristics of a 911 Porsche in terms of handling and provides a genuine driving experience with excellent mechanical grip at the rear axle. When braking, it is important to be smooth and trail brake to bring the front axle to life as well. However, there are also many cars that I don't really like yet, especially more of the modern ones such as GT3 or LMDH. This may be due to the way the assists, specifically TC, are implemented, but the 992 Cup without TC and ABS also feels a bit strange to drive. It's very hard to get the steering and throttle application right, particularly the LMDH/hypercars, where it feels really complicated. Straight 4 told us there are still a few tweaks to be made for the modern racing classes, but in general, these are not meant to be slow Sunday drives. That's an original quote. So expect a proper challenge and very sensitive inputs to drive some machinery in PMR. It will be stressful, I can assure you. Hypercars in this state were way harder to get right than in any other title like LMU or iRacing. In my opinion, Project Motor Racing will satisfy sim racers who want authentic handling cars and a detailed tire model. Few things were missing or incomplete in the preview. There were no rolling starts, no flag-waving marshals except at the start-finish line, no safety car, no car damage display even, and no complete mechanical damage model. Straight 4 told us that a few things will come. For instance, bigger grids than the current 31 cars. It will come post-launch as well as rolling starts. This will tie in with their IMSA partnership, they told us. A more refined damage model, where you can also fully destroy the car, will also come after release. I think you've already noticed that we don't have to worry about too much about the sound. Whether it's a flat 6, V12, 5-cylinder turbo or V8, they all sound really mechanical and rich. Graphically, Project Motor Racing is undoubtedly a good-looking game. I would place it between Automobilista 2 and Le Mans Ultimate. The lighting is particularly stunning at sunrise and sunset, and it's a nice touch that you can change the season. Autumn looks particularly appealing. If you drive in winter without tire warmers, your tires will be at 5 degrees Celsius, which is no joke, I can tell you. But as far as I can see, it's a dry winter always, so there are no snowy landscapes around the track, at least from what I saw. There's of course also rain, so you can race in the wet, and that also feels pretty convincing so far, but it's more like a flat weather system. You have different deviation settings where you can have also different weather slots that can happen, so it can go from dry to rain. It's a bit dynamic. But also the track surface didn't look super dynamic yet, there's no wet line and stuff that I saw. It's just a flat, damp track then, as you know it maybe from Assetto Corsa Competizione. The car models are also very true to the originals. The interiors are faithfully designed, and the cars have their original digital dash screens on the steering wheels, which display different pages of real-time data. The Porsche 964 also has a steering wheel with patina, giving it the look of a car that has been around for a while. That's what I call attention to detail, and I like that. The FPS could be better, given what is on offer, and there are many popping objects and shadows sometimes. A particularly large number of objects and landmarks even disappear when looking back in the car, even at close range. Yeah, could Straight 4 be struggling with the Giant's engine here a bit to get more performance out of it? I don't know. More bad news, native triple screen support and VR will not be available at release. However, they are a high priority post-launch according to Straight 4. Yeah, sorry if you're in this group, at least triple screens already work with NVIDIA Surround or AMD Eyefinity. And there is another issue that's causing me some concern. We'll take a look at that in a moment, but first we'd like to draw your attention to some of the great features on our website, overtake.gg. You can become a premium member on our website, overtake.gg. Premium members enjoy extra benefits such as an ad-free browsing experience, special community deals, discounts, and Overtake Turbo, which provides setups, coaching, and one free esports setup per month. And if you love unboxing sim racing gear just as we do, there's a premium member giveaway every month. Another cool feature are community reviews, so you can have a chance to contribute and share your opinion on not yet released hardware or games. Join as a premium member on overtake.gg for just €1 a month. If that's not your thing and websites are too old school for you, you can now also become a channel member here on YouTube. Thank you for your support. The racing AI is likely the biggest area for improvement before release. It was very bare bones in the preview version. It's clear that it's more consistent with certain track and vehicle combinations, particularly in career mode it worked kinda well. Can be also quite challenging at level 100, however, there are also examples where it simply fails completely and the cars basically form a train and don't change positions at all. This is just one of my problems. To me it looks like the AI ignores cold tires. It probably doesn't use player physics one-to-one, but that then needs to be better masked. A lot of Project Motor Racing's appeal lies in its single player and career mode, but the game's enjoyment is likely to suffer if the AI isn't improved by then. So here's a clear warning for you guys. Wait for the release and the first reviews to see how the AI behaves in Project Motor Racing. I imagine some post-release patches will be needed to optimize things. However, career mode has a lot of potential if the computer drivers perform well. Let's take a quick look at that. Straight 4 has made a few simple yet effective design choices that make career mode more immersive and exciting. First, it's great that there are 3 save slots. The sponsorship models and starting budget offer a lot of flexibility in choosing where and how to begin your motorsport career. There is even the right preset for the crash pilots out there, the aggressor, so you don't have to pay for your repairs. Great. The funny thing is that you can even maneuver yourself into a dead end. For instance, you could spend your entire budget on a GT3 car and then not have enough money to enter a series.
Immediately ended his career.
I'm already stuck now?
But we have a shiny new Ford Mustang GT3 in our garage. Nice.
If I retire from the championship, my money is gone.
The only solution is then to sell the car, buy a cheaper car, for example a GT4, and register for a new series. So far, it looks like you just go around trying to win championships and gradually fill your garage with cars. Let's see if there will be any special invitationals, cutscenes, or turning points later on in their career. I highly recommend playing an authentic mode, where there are no restarts, kind of a hardcore mode. If you messed up, you messed up. Trust me, your driving style changes completely when you know that every crash means the end of your race and you have to pay for the repairs afterwards. I started a career in the 964 Cup and had some pretty cool races. 12 laps at Daytona or Sebring are quite long, so you have to concentrate fully for 25 minutes and avoid making mistakes. There were also some cool battles with the AI. At Daytona, however, there were certain places like T1 or the bus stop exit where the AI was just stupid, which killed the immersion a bit then. At Sebring they were fine for the most part. Unfortunately, I was too dominant, my pace was just too good and I got a bit bored at the front. But man, this car felt fantastic there. I learned more and more about its nuances with each lap. But there were also completely different drivers suddenly fighting for the top spots in the AI field. So there certainly needs to be more rivalry so that you have your fixed 2 or 3 people where you know, okay, these are the guys to beat. Let's see if that gets better in the release version as well. In conclusion, there is a lot to be hopeful about. This is a serious simulation and the driving experience as well as the way most of the cars handle and sound make me eager for more. However, the developers still have a lot of work to do and many areas likely need patches or additions later on. I didn't have time to test the gamepad handling for this preview, but we can do that as well if you like. Just let us know down below in the comments. Otherwise, feel free to post any questions also in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way to the section. You can find our RENNSPORT preview here. It's another competitor title for Project Motor Racing that will also be released on consoles in a few days. And to be honest, their AI issues were way worse. See you then.